You are listening to Unstoppable Actors, the essential podcast for ambitious, unknown actors with me, Louise, the artistic director of Standby Method Acting Studio. And for the last 13 years, I've been taking unknown actors with blank CVs all the way to Netflix dramas, Amazon Prime films, TV soaps, and stage plays around the world. And every week I'll be talking with you and sharing how you can become a paid working unstoppable actor, because you 1000% can. An acting career is doable. Are you ready to dive into the episode? Hey, it's Louise here. Welcome back to the Unstoppable Actors podcast. If you're a regular listener, as I say at the beginning of most episodes, I absolutely love having you here. And I love being able to help you and guide you and support you through these episodes as you go on this crazy journey of becoming a professional actor. And if you've recently discovered the podcast, welcome. It's so good to have you here. Please do come along to our Facebook group, which is also called Unstoppable Actors, and come and introduce yourself there. It'd be really nice to have a little chat with you and find out exactly where you are on your acting journey, what your goals are, and how I can help you more with them. The link for the Facebook group Unstoppable Actors is underneath where you've hit play. In this episode today, we're going to be talking about something that blocks more actors than anything else. And it is not a lack of training. It's not a lack of talent. It's not a lack of opportunity. It's overthinking. And I have seen this play out time and time again in my 15 years of coaching actors, all the way from beginners to working professionals, and the pattern is always the same. Before we take a deep dive into this, I'd love to say a big, big thank you to Megan. Megan discovered our podcast, the one about ADHD, thriving as an actor with ADHD, and she came and joined our Unstoppable Actors Facebook group, and we started a discussion about that episode in there, and she said, great episode. This is actually how I came across you, as somebody shared it in another actors Facebook group, and I'm so grateful as there were so many valuable tips. I'm going to listen to it again at some point to digest them again properly and write them down. Thanks for sharing. Thank you, Megan, for listening, and thank you for coming and joining our community. I am so excited to be on this journey with you and to see where your acting career goes. I'd also like to give a shout out to Connor as well. Connor listened to the episode which was about bouncing back from life when it fires curveballs at you, and that was a very raw episode that I shared where I spoke about the loss of my beautiful, fluffy feline queen, Ruby, who was only 4 years old when she passed away 3 weeks ago, which completely shocked me. And yeah, that episode just came right from the heart. It was, as I've said, very, very raw. And he messaged me on Instagram and said, "Hi Louise, I'll try to keep this short, otherwise I'll ramble. I'm sorry to hear about Ruby. It's horrible to lose someone who's been a constant in your life, and I know she'll be missed from classes. I've been dealing with a hard loss since the start of summer, and my priorities have had to shift, and it's so validating to hear your take on similar situations. I'm having to play things by ear, and I've had some wins and some losses, and I will be back to classes at some point. I hope you're able to grieve for your loss, and like you said, move on with this new version of you." And I want to say thank you. I've already messaged Connor back and said thank you for this, but I want to publicly thank him as well for reaching out and sharing that message with me, because it can be quite challenging when we're going through losses. We don't really want to burden people with it, and we keep these things to ourselves. And sometimes we think, gosh, am I oversharing if I say that I've experienced a loss? And you're not. I'm here to support all of you, whatever is happening in your life, whether you are going through losses or hardship at the moment and are having to just take a little sabbatical from acting. I'm still here to support you. Or whether you're returning from a break from the acting industry after life challenges have taken over, or whether you don't have any of that going on, whatever the circumstances are, I'm here to support you no matter what. And one of our core values at Standby Method Acting Studio is connection. I am a very, very firm believer that art heals through connection. So at Standby, we create a safe, inspiring space where actors from all over the world can unite and share their hardships, their wins, their losses with one another, and support each other and grow together. And it doesn't matter if you're having to take a short break from the industry to deal with something, we're always here for you. Connection is so important. And that doesn't just mean the connection to characters that then have a greater impact on the audiences, it's the connection to one another as well. So if you are going through any hardships right now, just come and talk to us in our Unstoppable Actors group. We're all here to support you and to give you that space and that validation that you need. Let's go back to overthinking then, which is what our theme for today's podcast episode is all about. Overthinking can show up in so many sneaky ways. And I have done all of these at one point or another in my acting career. And there'll be things that you've done on here as well, or maybe you're getting sucked into currently and you can't find a way out with them. Well, don't worry, because I'm here to help you. Watching yourself as you act. That is a sneaky way that overthinking shows up in your performances. And when you're watching yourself, it means you're judging yourself as you're in the scenes. The other way that overthinking can show up is in overplanning. That's before you even ever step into the scene or the first rehearsal, and you're overplanning because you are worrying how it's going to go. Or the absolute classic, which is finishing a take or finishing a scene or finishing a rehearsal and thinking, was that enough? Did I do enough? When you're in either one of those three headspaces, watching yourself, overplanning, or thinking, am I doing enough? Was that enough? You're not in the scene. You're on the edge of it. And being on the edge of the scene means you have moved out of your body, you've moved out of the performance, and you're in your head. And in your head is not where the truth lives. So we've got to do the opposite of that. We've got to move out of your head and get into your body. So here's a simple thing that you can do right now. Give your character a physical activity in the scene. It could be making a cup of tea, folding washing, drawing, cleaning the kitchen counter, looking out of the window and counting the cars that are going past. Anything physical that keeps your mind occupied. In class, so when I'm coaching actors, when an actor's thinking too much, we will literally get them folding laundry sheets because the brain cannot overthink when the body's busy. And suddenly what happens is you see them drop into the character. And it is so inspiring and fascinating to see. And then after they've finished folding the laundry, so they're folding the laundry whilst they're doing the scene, because they've been given that physical activity to do, at the end of the scene, they're surprised. They're like, wow, I wasn't overthinking. But you can't overthink when you're doing something physical. So what I'd like you to do is start noticing when you're thinking versus doing in scenes. And you'll feel the difference because one is tense and detached and the other is alive. So the first step is the self-awareness, and then the second step is giving your character a physical activity to do. Now you might think, well, what physical activity do I choose? Because I could just do something that's absolutely nothing to do with the scene. In the first instance, in your rehearsals, do something that's nothing to do with the scene, because rehearsals are there to explore, experiment and play. So you can do something like folding laundry and then putting it away in a bag, or taking laundry out of a bag and then folding it up neatly. That might have absolutely nothing to do with the scene or the given circumstances, but it's just teaching you to drop into your body and into some physical action. Because the thing you have to remember with acting is a visual art. We're not just telling stories through the words that we say and the words that we speak. We're telling stories through the things that we're doing as well. Every little thing you do on stage or in a scene or on set is telling a story, whether you're aware of it or not. And then, after you've practiced that, I would then ask you to choose a physical activity that is connected to the scene, that is connected to what your character's doing. And I can share a very quick story around this. I had a scene many years ago in a stage play called Loot, and I was playing a character called Faye. And there was a scene that I was in where I had dialogue at the beginning and then no dialogue for the rest of the scene, but I was in there and it was important for my character Faye to be in the scene. This got me overthinking as well, because we can become self-conscious very easily. We have to acknowledge and accept that as actors, because I was doing nothing, I started to become self-conscious that I was doing nothing. And the overthinking kicked in. And I started thinking things like, oh, will people know that I'm not in character? Do they know that I'm not focused? Or what can I be doing? Am I doing enough just by being sat in this chair as the director asked me to do in the scene? And I started doing my own head in with it, if I'm being completely honest. So I gave myself a physical activity to do. The character Faye was trying to get one of the other characters to marry her so she could have the money from the will from his wife that had just recently died. Hence the play being called Lou. It's a Joe Autumn play. It's very, very funny. It's a dark comedy. Anyway, the money was in the house somewhere. So in that scene where I had nothing to do, I decided to get up out of the chair and search for the money in the house, as I had no dialogue. Now, I didn't do it in a way where I was upstaging people and I was taking the attention away from them. I did it in line with Faye's objectives and needs, and it was subtle enough that it gave me something to focus on and allowed me to embody her, and then allowed me to listen to what was going on in the scene, because I could be sneaky. I didn't want anyone else in the scene to know that I was looking for this money, so it looked like I was just faffing around tidying. I actually wasn't. I was purposefully looking for the money. But it allowed me to stay in the scene, and it kept me stimulated in it as well. But as I've said, and I need to make this abundantly clear, I was not upstaging anyone, because that's not fair to the other actors. But it really worked. The director came up to me at the end of that show and said, wow, you're absolutely fascinating to watch. And so it served two purposes, really. It allowed me to stay creatively focused and stop overthinking and stay embodied in the character. And it gave the scene a new energy as well. It offered the other actors something to work with. And here's one last final thought I want to leave you with. When you are in your head overthinking, you're not only doing yourself a disservice because you're not embodying the character, but you're actually offering nothing to the other actors to work with. I believe that we should show up in scenes as a giving actor, because when we give, and they're called metaphorical gifts, so when we give metaphorical gifts, such as me pretending to clean but actually searching for the money as Faye, when we give those metaphorical gifts, that's where the magic happens, because then it inspires ideas in the other actors as well, and then we're working as a team where ideas are just bouncing off one another in the form of the action through the character. In the next episode, we're going to be exploring the forgotten details that bring a character to life. And trust me, these are the things that separate a performance that's fine from one that's truly magnetic. And if you're ready to go deeper with this, keep your eyes peeled, because we have got an incredible challenge coming up very, very soon. It's called the Step Into Character Challenge, and it's opening up inside the Method Actors Circle. I'm not going to tell you when, but it's very, very soon, and it's literally just £5 to join this challenge for November only, and it will completely transform the way you connect to your characters. And it takes what I share in these episodes to a more practical level, where I can offer you more guidance, more coaching beyond what I can offer you in the podcast. So I hope this has been useful for you. I hope it's inspired you. I hope you've got some great tips that you can start putting into use right away. And if you were already aware of these things but perhaps forgotten them, I hope it's been a good refresher for you. So I'll see you in the next episode. I've absolutely loved hanging out with you, and I really hope you found this episode inspiring. If you have, please do rate the podcast and hit follow so you never miss an episode, and I can help more actors like you. And come and join one of the most supportive, uplifting acting communities on socials, the Unstoppable Actors Facebook group, where you'll get your weekly injection of inspiration, networking, and receive your free Method Actors Handbook so you can become an unstoppable actor.